Welcome to SUTV News. I'm Nick McEwen.
And I'm Kennedy Johnston.
Here's the most recent update in this week's mayoral race. As of last Wednesday night, November 3rd, candidate Garth O'Green overtook incumbent Mayor Mayo Wilson Edwards with around a 100-vote lead. This overtake comes from the Tuesday's primary results, where Edwards led with a 16-vote lead. The race isn't over yet, as mail-in ballots that were sent by November 1st have not been counted. The next update in elections is predicted to arrive this Friday, November 5th.
Finally, some positive news in the disappearance of 4-year-old Australian Cleo Smith. After an 18-day search, police in Western Australia entered a home early yesterday morning and were surprised to find a young girl who identified herself as Cleo. Officials and family members were instantly overcome with relief and emotion. Let's take a look at this moment.
We got it.
Hey, Bobby.
Bring the camera in.
Hey, come here. Come here. I got you, Bobby.
What's your name?
You're alright.
What's your name? What's your name, sweetheart?
My name is Cleo.
Your name
You're
is
alright,
Cleo.
Bobby.
Hello, Cleo.
Cleo initially went missing on October 18th while on a camping trip with her family. Her parents woke up to find her and her sleeping bag missing, with the tent zipper left open. Her parents say she is doing well after everything she has been through and appears to be okay physically. A suspect has been taken into custody and will be charged for his crimes.
So, do you have any Thanksgiving plans coming up? Which I would mention later, but sadly this will be our last show to talk about it.
Just going to see my family. What are you doing?
Oh, I'm going up north, taking family pictures.
Oh,
A lot of
nice.
fun. Oh yeah, everyone loves family pictures. Coming up, a look at the Cedar City Air Patrol.
And a look at the Sigma Chi fundraiser for the Huntsman Cancer Institute.
I'm Jenny Garth, and as a mother of 3, I know kids worry about a lot of things. Getting enough food to eat shouldn't be one of them. But here in America, that is a real worry for 1 in 5 children. Even though we are one of the most food-rich countries in the world, 15 million children don't know where their next meal is coming from. This is unacceptable, and something the Feeding America nationwide network of food banks is working to solve. Instead of accepting that our country lets billions of pounds of surplus food go to waste every year, Feeding America has made it their mission to help families in need by rescuing this food. Through food pantries and meal programs, the nationwide network of food banks provides more than 3 billion meals, serving virtually every community in the United States, including yours. Join me in supporting Feeding America and your local food bank by visiting feedingamerica.org. Together, we can solve hunger. Together, we're Feeding America.
At the Cedar City Regional Airport, SU's aviation program is not the only operation happening there. The Civil Air Patrol, a public service organization, also operates out of the airport.
The Civil Air Patrol has its origins dating back to World War II. The military-styled civilian aviation unit aimed to provide the U.S. with homeland defense and security around wartime. Today, they have a new mission and continue to shape the lives of many.
CAP has 3 missions. We have cadet activities, aerospace education, and emergency services. I've been participating more on the emergency services side, getting to fly the aircraft, getting qualified to go on missions. But here in Cedar, we have a composite squadron, which means we operate with a lot of cadets. And I think that's really cool because we get to get all these kids interested in aviation, getting them learning some cool stuff about aerospace, about technology, STEM fields, things like that. It's great to see them coming out of their shells.
Both youth and adult members have the opportunity to assist in search and rescue operations, as well as aiding in disaster relief.
There's several different things. Being a pilot's great, being an instructor, helping out with that side of it. But there's so many more things they do. With the recent fires, we sent radio communications help, just on the ground help, just volunteers that want to lend a hand. And I like being a part of that. I like being able to help out where I can and volunteer where I can. I was like, oh, okay, we're good.
Members come from varying backgrounds and use their expertise to enhance the missions of the Civil Air Patrol.
I enjoy the aerospace education, because I train a lot of the pilots into these airplanes and then do check rides for them as a check pilot. So I enjoy teaching and training new pilots.
The Civil Air Patrol operates several units in each state and prides itself on creating new opportunities for individuals to give back to their community. More information about the Civil Air Patrol can be found at gocivilairpatrol.com.
SU's Sigma Chi hosted a dodgeball tournament to raise money for the Huntsman Cancer Institute in celebration of Derby Days. Here's a closer look from reporter Kaylee Shorts.
Southern Utah's Sigma Chi fraternity hosted their annual Derby Days. Derby Days is an annual charity fundraiser hosted by the Sigma Chi fraternity. All of the other traditional sororities on campus compete in week-long events to raise money for the Huntsman Cancer Institute.
I'm from Spain, and I came here just for fun and enjoy the life.
The event that I attended was the annual dodgeball tournament.
At the Sigma Chi Philanthropy for Huntsman Men's Cancer. It's really great. Philanthropy Week, all proceeds go to Huntsman to end men's cancer. That's super cool. And we all came out here and took a dub, and that's all you can really ask for. So.
The goal for this week was to raise over $50,000. For this event, they raised over $400.
I came out to the Sigma Chi dodgeball tournament just because it's a great organization and they're raising money for cancer to help fight it, find research and stuff. So I thought that was really important, especially because of my family situation and helping figure out a cure for cancer.
You can also make a stand and end the fight against cancer by donating to the Sigma Chi fraternity on Instagram or on Southern Utah's campus. Do your part and end the fight of cancer. This is Kaylee Shores with SUTV News.
The Thunderground Showcase is an opportunity for local musicians and artists to get their music played on the radio. Here's a closer look with reporter Reggie Van Hecke.
For most artists, getting their music played on the radio seems like some sort of far-fetched dream, but thanks to some music-loving folks over at Thunder 91, that dream might just come true.
The Thunderground Showcase is an opportunity for local musicians to get their songs played on air on Thunder 91. We like to help those local artists out so that they can get airtime, people can hear them, and so then they can get more publicity that way.
I was motivated to start this because I actually am a local musician and I have a lot of contact with other local musicians because I'm president of the music production club here at SUU. So I've had the opportunity to meet a lot of really talented musicians, a lot of really cool people. I thought, how cool would it be to be able to reach out to the community in a way that we can feature local artists, get them some exposure.
You have to be from Southern Utah, first of all. You have to be relatively unknown. I don't know of any big artists from Southern Utah, but I mean, if there were, maybe we would put them on. I'm not sure. That's up to Ethan.
If you're a local artist that wants to get involved and get your music on the radio, you can email it to us at thunder91ksuu@gmail.com, and we can also connect you with people that can help you record your music. But yeah, don't be afraid to take the jump because we're playing all sorts of people on the radio. There are there's lots of variety, and anyone can make it on.
Thunder 91 is always looking for new artists and new music, so if you're interested, you can submit your music to thunder91ksuu@gmail.com for a chance to get some airtime. For SUTV News, I'm Reggie Van Hecke.
The weather's been nice today, hasn't it?
Oh, it's been very nice.
No, I gotta wear shorts.
Oh.
Yeah.
The thing is, walking to campus in the morning for the radio show I have to wear like a massive coat to get there, and then walking back, I regret it.
I know.
Already, it's like an hour difference, and that's it.
It's that time of year.
Every hour is a different weather condition. It's great. But speaking of which, what's next for the weather, Sydney?
Nick, I totally agree with you. Fall definitely has its pros and cons, but it is really nice to be able to have some of the warm weather that we've been having the last couple days. Coming up, I'll let you know if this warmer weather will be sticking around. Stay tuned. Welcome back to SUTV. I'm Sydney Burrell. How beautiful has this weather been today? Oh my goodness, I've absolutely loved it. We've stayed in the 60s today because right now we're about 66, where we're going to have a high of 67, low of 37 today. Friday and Saturday, as we approach this weekend, we are going to be staying pretty warm, with the exception on Saturday with us having some partially cloudy skies as we get down there with that potential low of 45. But again, significantly warmer than what it could be, being the fact that it is November. We do want to take a look closely at our 7-day forecast. As we approach the weeks, we are going to be staying in the 50s, 60s Saturday, Sunday, with it warming up to that 68, 64 weather. So again, not bad. But as we are approaching the weekend, maybe some of you guys have plans to head over to St. George. Let's take a look at what it's looking like a little bit more south. St. George generally stays about 10 degrees warmer, and so that is definitely really nice. But we're looking up in the 70s to this week. Thursday and Saturday will be about 78, so I'm definitely not complaining about that. For any of you who have plans to travel, definitely take advantage of that. As in terms of winds, we're looking pretty significantly less windy in the St. George region, which is typical, as Cedar City generally has a lot more winds. But let's take more look at what our average wind speeds are generally. The average hourly wind speed in St. George experiences mild seasonal variation over the course of the year. The windier parts of the year last for approximately 5 months, from January 12th to July 4th, with average wind speeds of more than 8 miles per hour. The windiest month of the year in St. George is April, with an average hourly wind speed of 9.1 miles per hour. So we're looking right over here at this April month. The calmer time of year lasts from approximately 6 months, from July 4th to January 12th. The calmest month of the year in St. George is August, with an average hourly wind speed of 6.9 miles per hour. So again, you can probably already have guessed that with it being August. But let's take a look at more of the pleasant times of the year to be in Cedar City. As we are getting more cold, it's nice to take a look at when more tourism comes into Cedar City. To characterize how pleasant the weather is in Cedar City throughout the year, we compute 2 travel scores. The tourism score favors clear, rainless days with perceived temperatures between 65 and 80. Based on this score, the best time of year to visit Cedar City for general outdoor tourist activities is from late June to early September, with a peak score in the last week of July. So ironically, that's actually about the same time of year as the Shakespeare Festival, as it comes into town. That brings a ton of tourism into Cedar City. And is really beneficial for the community and for those who come in to visit. So again, that is during these months of the year. So not saying that it's not pleasant to be in Cedar City at this time of year. I really enjoy the leaves. We've got some beautiful weather coming up in the next week. As a reminder, we are approaching daylight savings on Sunday. Make sure to set your clocks an hour different. We are going to be falling back, as it is the fall. So we will be getting more sleep. So I'll tell you what, I'm excited about that. But here's a look at what's happening in sports with Keaton. Thanks for tuning in. I'm Sydney Burrell.
Coming up on SUTV Sports, we've got some breaking NBA news. We'll see you in just a bit. Don't go anywhere.
Jason, let's go see your room.
What do you think? We kept it a little spare, so you can decorate it how you like.
Dinner! Go?
Excellent. Soccer is fun. Yeah, I saw you guys out there.
Yeah!
Oh, I thought you were on my team. Wait,
Welcome back to SUTV Sports. I'm Keaton Meekum. Baseball season has officially come to a close, with the Atlanta Braves claiming the World Series title. The Braves had a dominant performance in Game 6, closing out the series 7-0, with homers from Dansby Swanson, Freddie Freeman, and World Series MVP Jorge Soler. It is the Braves.
Smith. The 0-2.
Left side, Swanson to first. The Braves are world champions.
It is the Braves' first championship in 26 years. As we head into the offseason, there are some big-name free agents, including Carlos Correa, Corey Seager, Max Scherzer, Chris Bryant, Trevor Story, and now World Series champion Freddie Freeman, among others. This offseason should be a good one. In NFL news, the Green Bay Packers will be getting back star wide receiver Davante Adams as he comes back from the COVID protocol, but will be without quarterback Aaron Rodgers as he tested positive for COVID-19 yesterday. The 7-1 Packers will be visiting Patrick Mahomes and the now 4-4 Kansas City Chiefs Sunday afternoon. As for tonight's Thursday night matchup, rookie quarterback Mike White and the 2-5 New York Jets will be in Indianapolis taking on Carson Wentz and the 3-5 Colts. In his first start last week, Mike White led the NFL in passing yards with 405 in the comeback win against Joe Burrow and the Bengals. As always, Week 9 will wrap up on Monday night with Justin Fields and the 3-5 Chicago Bears visiting the 4-3 Pittsburgh Steelers. Over to the NBA news. The Phoenix Suns are under some scrutiny because of allegations against owner Robert Sarver for racist and misogynistic remarks towards employees and players. A long ESPN report came out earlier today with potential leaks and information on Sarver's behavior. Over 70 former and current Suns employees during the 17-year tenure of Sarver so far have been interviewed and described toxic and hostile workplace environment. One former employee recounted that Sarver asked a woman whether he owned her to determine whether or not she worked for the Suns. A former executive for the Suns said, "There's literally nothing you could tell me about him from a misogynistic or race standpoint that would surprise me." In 2016, after a close loss to the eventual champion Warriors, Sarver entered the locker room and said to then coach Earl Watson, "You know, why does Draymond get to run up and down the court and say the N-word?" Watson then told Sarver he couldn't say it, to which Sarver replied with, Why? Draymond Green says the N-word." But there have been warning signs from the beginning. During a pitch to then free agent Steve Nash, Amari Stoudemire and Nash's agent Bill Duffy mentioned Sarver made a comment they deemed was racially insensitive. While they didn't remember specifics, they remember the feeling of him using the term black guy too loosely. Sarver has denied speaking with ESPN, and many within the Suns organization have come to his defense, including general manager James Jones and Jason Rowley, the president and CEO of the Suns. A little more into this with Robert Sarver. As an owner, or now governor, he is a majority owner of the Suns, he really needs to be careful because we've already seen Donald Sterling forced to sell the Clippers for $2 billion at the time. He needs to make sure that he's careful with what he says if he wants to keep the Suns. Because of how things have gone in the past under Adam Silver, it's going to be huge for Robert Sarver to comply. Minority owner has already said they're complying. The NBA has already launched an investigation. Over to some SUU sports. SUU volleyball has its final home game of the year this Saturday against Portland State. While it's unlikely that they make the Big Sky tournament, if they can win out against Northern Arizona, Portland State, and Weber State, they could have a chance at the 8th and final seed for the tournament. SUU basketball has its season opener this coming Tuesday the 9th. The T-Birds will play host to Bethesda University. Picked by media and coaches, the T-Birds are the favorite to repeat as Big Sky champions. SUU is set to return 4 out of 5 starters, players that accounted for over 90% of the points scored from last season. The group was the 3rd highest scoring team in the nation last year. Women's basketball opens their season on the road versus Cal State Fullerton, also on Tuesday night. The Lady T-Birds home opener won't be until November the 16th. That's all I've got for SUTV Sports. I'm Keaton Meekum. Remember, punters are people too. I'll send it back to the desk.
Thanks for the update, Keaton. Coming up, a look at the local food scene,
as well as what's happening here on campus.
Today I'm going to talk to you about physics. Come on in, girls. Let's go. This is the first rocket to get humans to Mars.
Really tall.
I'm a rocket structural engineer, designing and building parts of the rocket. You are the generation that will be stepping foot on Mars. Do I have a group of astronauts on my hands?
Yes.
You can become a rocket scientist or whatever else you want to be.
Hey, did you buy something from some gaming site?
What do you mean?
Yeah, look, there's a bunch of different charges on here.
Do you think someone stole our credit card information?
I don't know. That site sounds familiar, though.
Yeah, isn't that the site that Billy's on all the time?
You don't think.
Billy! Stop and think before you connect. Playing online is serious business. Visit dhs.gov/stopthinkconnect for tips on how to be safe online.
Loosening COVID restrictions have brought much-needed business support back to local restaurants. Our reporter Alex Fryer has more.
The COVID pandemic hit many businesses hard last year, with some closing their dining rooms and others shutting down completely. Some restaurants, like Cedar City's Pizza Cart, actually said they saw an increase in business as less people were leaving home.
So it was actually really weird. I think it got more busy when COVID hit. Like, right now, the past few months have been busier than we've ever experienced the whole time we've been open.
They were able to keep doors open by restricting dining room access, coming up with new ways to get food out to customers while maintaining minimal contact.
So what my boss did, he actually built a takeout window, and we even built a zip line, and we'd zip line pizzas down to the front, and we just had, nobody would come in, everybody was wearing masks, and we'd just go in and out, and it was actually, it worked out really great because a lot of places just shut down, but we kept up and we were as busy as ever during that time.
Now, with people itching to get out of the house and vaccines becoming more widely available, local restaurants have started to see record-breaking tourism numbers.
There has been a lot of travelers coming in since that has happened because everyone comes here. I talk to a lot of people that come from Zion to see Zion and to see all the national parks and to see the Shakespeare Festival. Yeah, I think it's been a lot busier than it has in the past.
For SUTV News, I'm Alex Fryer.
How much do you know about podcasts? The new medium is sweeping through SUU with students starting to take up their very own shows. Here's more information from reporter Skylar Jones.
Test 1 2, test 1 2, check check.
Did you know podcasts are one of the fastest growing entertainment mediums? According to Insider, a business and marketing journal, by the year 2025, there will be over 144 million monthly podcast listeners.
Podcasting to me is interesting because, there's a lot of great things about podcasting. The storytelling, I listen to podcasts every day. And, it's appointment listening, so I can listen when I want. And that's one of the reasons that podcasts are so great. And anybody, there are some, speed bumps in the way of people starting a podcast, but ultimately anybody can do a podcast.
SUU News and Thunder 91.1 produce podcasts like Sugar and Spice, Thundercast, Cedar Break, and Dear Student. The journal and radio station are pushing for more student engagement along with new podcasts with the completion of the new production room.
I want students to listen to Dating with Sugar and Spice and laugh. I want them to really hear stories about other students and hilarious dating situations. I want them to feel seen. I want them to feel heard. And most importantly, I want them to feel like they're not alone because dating is crazy and everyone has a funny experience.
The journal and radio station produced podcasts can be found on SUnews.net or other streaming services like Spotify and Apple Music. In the growing industry, there's plenty of new opportunities in this developing medium. For SUTV News, I'm Skylar Jones.
A film BFA major is coming to Southern Utah University sooner than you might think.
Southern Utah University announced the makings of a brand new film BFA program and the grounds for a film studies building along with it.
No, I think it's great that it's showing up. It's been happening. It's been in the works for I think it's 10 years, between a couple different professors. I don't know a ton, but I'm kind of sad I missed out on it myself, right? Because this was the last couple of years sort of been holding out for it. But that's okay, and I guess next year's people will get it. So I say good for them. Glad it's finally here.
This new interdisciplinary degree will be entering into the only BFA in the state of Utah.
So classes students should take before entering the film program probably include creative writing classes so that you can understand storyboarding, communication classes so you understand human interaction, as well as communication classes that focus on media production. So understanding how to produce audio and video will be super useful in preparing for the film major.
New classes will be introduced, such as cinematography, advanced editing, directing for screen, and new classrooms to accommodate.
I think that advanced editing or cinescope would probably be where I'm headed, honestly. I work with audio for the radio station anyway, so I think that that'd be a great way to kind of incorporate my audio into the filmmaking process.
Though the classrooms won't be finished until 2023, the program will be open the fall of 2022. For SUTV News, I'm Nick McEwen. So, in some other news, as we all know, all of us are going to be switching positions in this class for this news class, and so we will no longer be your anchors after today's show. How do you feel about that?
I'm sad. I really enjoyed anchoring.
Mm-hmm.
And I hope you all enjoyed it too.
Oh, we hope it was as enjoyable as absolutely possible. But would you suggest this to anyone else?
Oh yes, if you're interested in taking this class, I would definitely recommend it.
Mm-hmm.
I think it gives us some real life experience.
Oh yeah, this is such a unique, such a fun class to be able to take in this. And so we thank everyone back there who was able to help with this, and we thank you, John, for everyone. Good for all of us. But, sorry, I saw clapping, so I had to go with it, thank you. But, when we tune in, hopefully, when you tune in next week, we'll have new anchors taking over our place, and everyone will be in brand new positions, and so it'll be a lot of fun to try and rejuvenate the show with this.
Thank you so much for tuning in. I'm Kennedy Johnston.
Ah, sounds good. Well, as you heard her, that's Kennedy Johnston, and I'm Nick McEwen. The town of Page, Arizona was hit hard with COVID, and also the loss of tourists due to the low levels on Lake Powell. But the Navajo tribe is trying to get tourists back to the area. So we leave you tonight with some sounds and scenes from Antelope Canyon, a world-famous tourist destination.
So this is considered to be the deepest point we have within the Lower Canyon. The average depth here is about 75 feet deep into this lock canyon, okay? About 75 feet, so here at the beginning of the tour, we're going to descend down about 6 flight of stairs going down, okay?
real quick.
Well, there's not any. Yeah, I don't eat out a ton, but if I do. Well, there's not any. Yeah, I don't eat out a ton, but if I do, I don't eat out around here.
I feel like there's pretty good options. Got a few restaurants. I think that's good.
I
Well, there's not any. Well, there's not any.
It's good.
I